I'm Naomi, a 35-year-old office worker. My husband, Tom, he is 2 years young me since he got transferred to the. I am currently living with my in-laws. It is only temporary for a limited. Tom wants to stay at his parents' house, but I want to find a proper place to soon as possible and get the hell out of my parents-in-law's house. I don't get along with my parents, especially my mother-in-law. She was sarcastic even before we got there.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by edit, but I can certainly help with any spelling or grammar mistakes. Have you not done your shopping yet? It's past time for the supermarket to change its ways. You can't even shop efficiently.
Remote working is allowed at my company. I'm on duty during the weekdays. I can't go shopping during the super bargain time.
Kate, I've told you many times I work during the day, so I can only go shopping after 5 p.m.
When I said that to Kate,
She said, "You're a woman who can't have children."
as usual, she blamed me. Tom and I have no children. I didn't check it out in detail at the hospital, so I don't know which one had the best. I wanted to have a child, but considering how much money Tom was making, I could not go through with the cost infertility treatment. Before we moved in together, Kate's bothered me. Even so, it was good while we still apart. If we lived in the same house every day, it would be a lot easier to get along. I would be exposed to her sarcasm 24/7. Although my father-in-law, Sam, may direct his comments towards me in a sarcastic manner, he can be more irritating differently than Kate. Sam said he thinks that a woman is woman when she is over 30.
Hey, can you give me a light? What are you doing wearing a skirt, lady?
Nobody wants to see your legs. N.O. If you call me an old lady, what about you? You're already 60 years old. I am not a timid person either. So when my father-in-law and mother-in-law are rude to me, I would talk back to them every time they were rude to me.
And they can say that I am arrogant.
It would be a further worse relation. The atmosphere in the house became the time. I felt that I had reached my limit together. But after his new job, Tom had to take vacations and go on business trips from time to time. I was unable to consult with him due to his absence from work.
Naomi, I'm going on a business trip this weekend.
Again, you were on a business trip day too.
At his previous workplace, although there were some overtime. There were almost no holidays or business trips. He was rarely required to work on Hogun business trips.
I can't be helped, can I? Once I change the workplace, it's much of a change.
That may be true, but isn't it time to change? Thanks to this, we were supposed to temporarily living with my parents, but I can't even find a place to moor. What if we end up living with them? I was afraid of that. One day, however, I was trying to laundry out of Tom's suitcase. I found a piece of paper in there. It was a receipt for an online reservation at a travel website. I wondered if it was a reservation for a flight and a hotel for a business trip. I looked at it and couldn't believe saw. It was the reservation for a hotel at Disneyland and tickets. It was for 2 people. The date was yesterday. That was the day when Tom was on a trip. Of course, Tom's company doesn't deal with Disneyland. His company deals in marine products. That's why it isn't related to Disney all. Tom pretended to go on a business trip. He actually went to Disney World. The reservation of accommodation for 2 people means surely he went with a woman. In my shock, I heard Tom singing in the bath. It was the theme song that everyone is familiar with. It must have reminded him of Disney. I guess he was humming naturally. It seems that he was on a fun and erotic affair trip, was very angry. Then I went into the bathroom and a Tom. But at that moment, Tom's smartphone rang. I was so angry that I could not make decisions, was pissed off, and answered the phone.
Hello?
I heard a young woman's voice and then immediately the phone was cut off. No way. I was sure. The phone call I just got must have been from Tom saying he's at Disneyland. In other words, the person was the Tom was having an affair. When she called Tom, she heard a man's voice, so she must have hung up in a hurry. I checked his incoming call history. Tom didn't care about security. He had not even set a PIN. Bingo. Immediately, I could see his smartphone. But when I looked at the contents of phone, I had a headache. There was a lot of evidence of and at his phone. I had no more doubt about it. He had many pictures of himself with you. All of them were taken on the same. The days when Tom was on a business, working on a holiday, and he even left a photo of them on. Was stunned to find out that he was being too. I checked his incoming call history, found Beth Brown. From the social network, I searched name and read her message to Tom. I like Tom so much. I can't wait to be your wife. The woman Beth seems to want to mate. While I was shocked, Tom came to me, took a bath.
I feel refreshed.
I immediately blamed him.
What do you mean you feel refreshed? You seem to be refreshed in every way.
What?
Who is Beth Brown?
He was so surprised to hear the name adultery partner. Suddenly,
You lied to me and went out. You were actually traveling with a name Beth, right? You lied about all those business trips you were taking on your days off. That's unacceptable.
Why do you think that some people are more successful than others?
he was so upset then I showed him.
All the evidence is in this phone.
Wah. Did you see my phone with permission? That could be an invasion of privacy.
A man who has no morals and has... What do you mean by an invasion of privacy? That's disgusting.
If you don't want people to see this, set a pin.
I made a promise to Tom, that is, you would never cheat on me. If you cheat on me, we'll even break up. I told Tom. Of course, I still feel the same way. I cannot continue to live with a married man who has a relationship with another woman.
Let's get a divorce.
When I said just that, Tom nodded immediately.
Oh, yes.
That was unexpected. I thought he would resist more. He might prepare for divorce when I about the affair.
Tomorrow we will be having a special guest speaker in our class. You should tell your parents about the divorce.
All right.
Tom's agreement was so simple, but I cannot and will not change my decision once I have made it. I have no intention of doing so. This is the end of my married life. I felt loneliness. The next morning, I went out early. I went to the city hall to get the papers and do your stuff. It was late at night when I returned. My husband and in-laws were there to support me at home.
You finally came home. I thought about where you were wandering.
When Kate saw me, she immediately spoke in a sarcastic tone. The fact that Tom is here means that he is already aware of Tom's affair. I wondered if she should have said sorry or something. Before being sarcastic, please read the instructions carefully. Instead of an apology, Kate said, "Son, outrageous."
Well, it's okay. You're fine. I'm gonna leave. I don't even want to see you anymore. It's just as good you went out.
What do you mean?
I asked about it to smile, Kate.
I mean, what I just said. I didn't want to see your face. I wanted to. I finally got Tom to come back here, but you always bothered me. I tried to argue with you and then get rid of you. You are not even pretty and always me. I finally had to use my trick.
A trick?
Kate laughed.
You already know Tom's girlfriend, don't you?
Yes.
Why would Kate confirm the name of Tom's affair partner?
Actually, a friend of mine cultural school, there is a person named Brown. She's 25 years old and 10 years you. She's young enough to have lots of.
Then Kate told me an unbelievable secret.
So I made Mrs. Brown's daughter, and we were together.
Was astonished. I never thought Kate would tell me thing.
Seriously? Did you help Tom to have an affair?
Oh, that's not appropriate to say it. I just introduced them to each other.
I was shocked by my mother-in-law, thought it was a bad thing. How could a mother introduce her son to cheating on his wife? And she was so proud to tell her sister about it. What a horrible mother!
But I had no choice. Tom is an only child, so I need his. Even if you had a child, I would still consider you as his wife. You're always working instead of playing with your children.
Besides Kate, Sam nodded his head in agreement. So, in other words, Sam knew about behavior.
Do you understand? It means that you've already been to this page, and we don't need any more old women who can't even have children. So get the hell out of here.
Kate acted like a winner. After a moment of silence, I said,
Well, I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not, but I can see that you have used for instead of form instead of. I understand very well what you guys are thinking. I will leave as you want.
I'm sure you don't have much to say. I can give you a ride if you like.
but I'm the one who's really laughing.
No, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's already been arranged.
Because I didn't cry out or lose my mind. Kate looked surprised.
Besides, Kate, I already knew that you'd been helped cheat on me.
I laughed at Kate.
What have you been doing all this time? If all I had to do was go to the city hall to pick up the divorce papers, it wouldn't take me this long. I spent the whole day today arranging and moving, and I went to see Beth Bourne.
Did you meet with Beth?
Tom asked me.
What about it? You cheated on me as you wanted to, and I knew about it. You think I'm not going to complain. When I checked your smartphone yesterday, it was not working properly. I made sure I got her phone number. Poor Beth, by the way. When I called her and said, I'm Tom and I'd like to meet you, she was so surprised. I heard you told Beth that you were. I told her the truth.
Tom and my parents-in-law were also astounded. They had never thought that I could think in just one day.
Beth found out that you had been uni to me and her and was grieving terror. Of course, Mrs. Brown was furious too. To both Tom and Kate, she said she both of you for marriage fraud. I felt so sorry for them. I promised to help her.
What is the name of this game?
Tom was trembling. Of course, the same goes for Kate.
I had a lot to be sympathetic to Beth, so I decided not to ask for alimony from her. For that, you, Sam, and Kate, I'm going to say thank you.
Alimony? Why do we have to pay alimony?
Sam said that in a panic.
If it's only Tom, it's none of our...
They had at least anticipated that would pay alimony, but they never thought they'd be here either, without them getting hurt themselves. They're going to take everything good. How can there be such a good deal?
Of course there is. Even if it's just compensation for anguish, I think that's a good enough reason.
While I was laughing, Sam fell silent.
Besides, haven't you forgotten what I live for? I'm a clerk at a law firm. I consulted with the director's lawyer. I'll have him try to see if that's get the alimony.
Of course, today. I've already contacted the lawyer at firm where I work.
What is the difference between a web designer and a web developer?
Then I heard the sound of the car just arriving at my front door.
Here it comes.
Hello, moving service.
I headed for the front door with a smile on my face.
Thank you for coming so late. Sorry for the sudden request.
No problem. There was an available the night shift. We were able to get a few things done. So we have no problem even at night.
Well, then, please get to work right. Oh, please be careful with fragile.
As soon as I invited them in, many workers entered the house and started to pack up the belongings.
Hey.
Under my direction, the workers were quickly packing up my belongings. Not only my clothes, books, and also the appliances in the living kitchen.
Oh, you guys, you can't take that. That's our stuff?
No. They're all my personal belongings brought into this house.
When we first moved here after Tom's transfer, the appliances in my parents-in-law's house had been used for a long time. I was a bit of an appliance fanatic, couldn't stand it. Then I brought the appliances from apartment. Now Kate is so used to her latest appliances, she has mistaken them for her own. Robot vacuums and cordless cleaners, a gorgeous microwave oven that can variety of foods, a dishwasher, an expensive hair dryer, and an espresso machine.
You are taking away everything. All the expensive stuff.
Kate grabbed me, but Tom stopped her.
Mom, we don't have a choice. Because of the high demand, we are currently sold out of this item. Please check back soon as more may become available.
Apparently, Tom had given up, but Kate was not to give up yet.
Once you know how good the latest version is, you can't go back to the older ones. If you're not satisfied, why don't buy another one? After paying the alimony, of course. I don't think you have the money to another expensive appliance after alimony.
Meanwhile, the workers were carrying the baskets, instructed them to carry into the truck. They bowed to me and got into the truck.
Please take these items to the address they are to be delivered.
I watched the moving truck drive off. I got into my car. Of course, this car belongs to me,
That truck.
Tom asked.
What? Of course I'm taking it to my apartment. My apartment where I lived until you transferred.
The apartment I bought when I had consigned the sale to a real estate agent when Tom was transferred, but the estimated price was too high. It didn't sell at all. I still hadn't let it go.
The real estate agent kept saying, sell it for a lower price. I am so glad I didn't sell the lower. I never thought it would come to this.
I giggled as I fastened my seatbelt.
But maybe I predicted it in my heart.
What? I don't understand.
Tom said.
Because I asked for a selling price than the market price. I was trying to make it hard to sell. Thus, we could always go back to the apartment.
Because of my words, Tom looked so.
You bitch.
Kate suddenly screamed and pushed me. I had pushed aside. As I was moaning in pain, Kate threw a box at me, but suddenly I was hit by a black object. She fell down.
Thank you, Ben.
I was on a moving truck with my cat, my arms. I was carried by the moving truck. I hurried to the new place to escape my mother-in-law. Why was Ben there? I don't know why Ben was there, but Ben must have had a strong sense of justice. He must have come to rescue me. After that, Tom and I got divorced. From the law firm I work for, Tom and my parents-in-law were sued for alimony. I asked all trials to the firm. Then my boss accepted the case almost free of charge. I really appreciated it. Despite being a young novice lawyer, she was in charge of the case. I am relieved to know that my boss the case. As for Beth's lawsuit, my boss dealt with it instead of the lawyer. He says he will file criminal and charges against them because of the nature of the crime. It's been a long time since he filed a criminal case. He says he is looking forward to doing a great challenge for him. After paying the compensation to Bet as the alimony to me, They would have to sell their house, the damages. I can't help laughing at the thought of their lives in extreme poverty and debt. I am now single. But compared to life with those in-laws and an unfaithful husband, it's like heaven. For a while, I'll be with Ben at the apartment. I'd like to enjoy single life freely.